Welcome to NinjaVA. I put together this onboarding mini-series to speak to the avatar of yourself. I know what you're probably feeling and what's going through your mind. Generally, that's a mix of excitement. You're probably excited to get going and to getting this person up and running and really serving inside of your team. But that's also probably matched with a sense of like unknown and like a little bit of pushback, right? Because call it like it is, in order to get somebody from halfway around the world to log in to your company and like contribute in a meaningful way, like that sounds a little bit crazy, right? So if you're feeling this way, rest assured, I've not only been there and done it myself, but also I've helped literally hundreds of people to achieve that thing, that same outcome of their own. So rest assured, we got you covered. I like to start off with my story here because I feel like not only is it deeply personal, but it's also probably very relevant to you and your situation. So for 15 years, I owned and operated an exterior cleaning business, okay? We were super busy in that business. We would go from 2 technicians to 32 technicians from February to May every single year. That was like our standard operation, our standard trajectory, and it was chaotic, right? So as you can imagine, a lot of things were maybe they were in place and intact, but at the end of the day, when you ramp up that quickly, it's hard to feel like you're not a little bit chaotic. And that feeling of chaos not only extended from the field, but it also extended back to the office. And I recall it very vividly. As much as we'd have to ramp up the field side of things with our technicians, we also had to do the same thing when it came to our admin or our CSRs, customer service representatives. And literally it was in this office, this exact office that I'm in right now, where we were operating, I think it was 2022, and we had 4 full-time CSRs reporting into this office space. And let me tell you, things were clunky, right? So I had one lady, I'm gonna just skip on their names. I had one lady, she would come in and she would do fairly decent work, but then she was a little bit hysterical, and about 3 or 4 times per day, she would leave in tears. And I swear I'm a nice guy, but like I think there was drama coming in from the home life or the baby daddy situation, and it was really bizarre. It was really frustrating too, because like those calls are very important. The emails are always coming in just absolute swarms, and to have somebody that just leaves sporadically and frequently throughout the day is really kind of detrimental. I had another gentleman, and he was very nice, very personable, but he moved at a snail's pace, and it was so brutal. He used to actually be the manager of a local plumbing supply outfit here in town, and I feel like he needed an assistant of his own, and that's probably what he was actually used to. Unfortunately, in this capacity, though, he was the assistant. So that was deeply frustrating. And then I had another lady, and she was the warmest of souls, but she couldn't get attention to detail down properly. And unfortunately, in the office, I always use the metaphor, the office is like the brains of the operation. And if you have any sort of chaos or you're lacking intelligence in the office, very quickly that's going to resonate across your entire operation. And for this lady in particular, that was absolutely the case. I remember the day vividly because we have an open concept office here outside of this studio that's at the back. And as I was working there at my desk, you always, as the owner, kind of have one ear open and you're just kind of listening to what's going on around you. And I recall overhearing a conversation coming in through the phone, and it was a call from an individual who's a little bit confused as to why our crews were at their property. Well, it turns out we were actually cleaning the wrong home. Okay, so it's a relatively straightforward and simple mistake, I guess. It's a matter of inputting the address incorrectly, and the quote becomes the work order. Our crews follow that work order, and sure enough, the person comes out and is wondering why we're halfway through cleaning their home. So obviously that was deeply frustrating to me. And what made the situation much, much worse is that was actually the second time that we were cleaning the wrong home inside of that same calendar week. I was frustrated. And at that point, I just felt like I'm paying, $22, $25, $27 an hour, plus the burdens on top, which is usually about another 20%. And I felt like the delivery I was receiving was way below the price I was paying. So at that point, I blamed myself first, but I made the really tricky and difficult decision to basically clean house. Okay, I went through one by one and I terminated all 4 of those CSRs. That was a really tough and crappy experience. At that point, though, I started in on my journey to transition my home service business to being completely ran by virtual assistants abroad. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not all candy canes and rainbows, and we had to really learn a bunch of different things when it comes to making such a masterful or monstrous shift in that direction. We did 2,500 jobs a year across 3 different locations with up to 15 work vans on the road. So it was a very bustling and busy operation. And to make a transition of that sort of magnitude took a lot of legwork and a lot of learning. Fortunately, though, it proved to be successful and it made a lot of sense in the end. At the end of my tenure with that company, we had 4 full-time VAs, one of which was the manager of the VAs, and they all reported into, her name was Jan. And it worked beautifully, and not only did it work beautifully, and did I feel like those people had a sense of ownership and pride and engagement and even thankfulness for the opportunity, but we saved $70,000 that coming year versus our year gone by when we made that switch from local in-person office staff to virtual assistants. So I'm very excited for you to be on this path, and I'm excited to support you along the way. I like to use this metaphor where me and my team are your real estate agents. Okay, so the same way a real estate agent is going to help you through the buying or the selling process of your home or your future home, we're going to be here alongside you to support and serve you as we go through this uncharted territory. So at any point, whether it's doing the interviews or getting the onboarding figured out, or even months down the road, I want you to always know that you're being supported and served. And in a moment's notice, you can always send us a text message, or you can send us an email, or we could hop on a Zoom call. Okay, so that's the benefit of the service that we've put together here at NinjaVA. Is it's not just a one and done situation. We're not going to just kick you out the boat and ask you to learn how to swim on your own. We're going to be here the entire way through your journey. So again, super excited to have you on board, and we can't wait to find you that Rockstar NinjaVA of your own. Thanks for being a part of this journey, and we will see you in the next video.